Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's expert talk on soil and fire, implication for agriculture and ecosystem. I don't know if Prof. Kobsak is still available because I think I lost him. I'm so sorry, participant. I'm waiting for Professor Kobsak to join so that we can resume with our webinar. Okay, Prof, you just came back. We were waiting for you to start the webinar.
I'm back.
Okay, no problem
Sorry,
again.
there's a technical problem.
No problem
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
Once again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Sydney. I'm a Sustainable Soil Management intern at RAP office. Welcome to today's expert talk on soil and fire, implication for agriculture and ecosystem. Before I proceed, we would like to apologize for rescheduling the webinar due to the speaker's illness. Our apologies for that. So fire plays a significant ecological role in many landscapes, yet they are also causes major soil disturbances. These disturbances can affect soil structure, nutrient dynamics, and overall ecological functions. Understanding this effect is essential for developing effective and land management and recovery strategy. Wildlife fires, which are becoming increasingly frequent and severe due to climate change, can drastically alter soil ecosystem across diverse ecosystems. In regions where farmlands border fire-prone areas, the impacts are particularly severe. Soil degradation can extend beyond the burnt area, influence the entire landscape and food system. So, ladies and gentlemen, today we will explore the multifaceted interaction between fire and soil processes, highlighting both the intermediate and long-term consequences of fire on agriculture and natural ecosystem. Dear participants, allow me to introduce you to our speaker, Assistant Professor Dr. Kobsak Wanthongchai, Professor at Kasetsart University, a former Dean of the Faculty of Forestry at Kasetsart University, Thailand, whose research focuses on forest fire management, forest ecology, and forest insect pest management. He has over 22 years of teaching and research experience spanning across Asia and the United States, and held coordinating positions at the Regional Center for Tropical Biology of CMEO and at the Regional Community Forestry Training Center for Asia and the Pacific. Before we give you the floor, Professor Kobsak, allow me to read the instruction. Please take note that this webinar is being recorded and will be accessible online. When you enter the webinar, you agree to these terms and conditions. Please use the question and answer icon or raise your hand to interact with the panelist. Please use the chat icon to interact with other participants. And also, lastly, please use the show captions to generate real-time caption during the webinar. Thank you for participating and contributing to the discussion. Thank you again for joining us today. We are honored to have you with us. I'll now hand over the floor to you for your presentation. Following that, we'll open the floor for questions and group discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lafala from FAO, and also good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for all participants. Thank you very much for your interest in the topics related to fire and soil that the FAO organized today. So I would like to share my slide. Can I?
Yes, you can, Prof.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, let me stop
So
sharing. Let me stop sharing my. Okay.
can you see my slide now?
Yes, I can see it. I can see it.
Can you see the full screen?
Yes, in full screen mode. Yes, I can see
Okay,
it.
thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
so much.
So again, thank you FAO for inviting me to share some experience about the fire and some ecosystem effects, in particular in the tropical countries where I belong to. I'm from Thailand, and I think that most of you come from many countries all around the world, but hopefully most of you are in the tropical countries. I think I will not talk about more detail about myself because the Mr. Lafra had already mentioned me to you all. Yeah, thank you very much. So the sorry for the topic that I would like to talk to you today may be comprised of three main topics that I would start a little bit about the significance of fire in the forest ecosystem, in particular fire and ecosystem, fire and the culture of people, in particular in the eastern countries, like in our people in Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam. Yeah. And also I want to stress or mention a little bit about the fire regimes, which is very important for our topics. That's about the fire frequency. And then I would like to show some examples of the effects of fire on soil properties that I have been done since I was the PhD student in Germany. Of course, it about around nearly 20 years ago, but the result is still reasonable, and that I can share to you. And after that, I think I would like to also to share some ecosystem that now they have many impacts and also make impact to the ecosystem from fire, like the dipterocarp forest and also peat swamp forest. And also finally, I'm talking about the swidden farming or rotational farming that most of people they do burning for their for their agriculture. So the first that I want to talk to you is about the importance of fire in the global perspective. I think most of you know that fire are very important nowadays, right? Since there are one factors of natural disturbance that shaping our ecosystem for a very long time. But by contrast, fire also is the ecological tools for maintaining many of forest ecosystems in the world. Not only in the boreal forest where they have fire some years, but also in tropical countries like in Thailand or in Mekong sub-regions or in many parts of the world. Fire is also play a very important role for maintaining ecosystem. And also, oh, sorry, I forget to to move the slide. Yes. Yeah, you can see from my slide that yeah, fire can maintain many ecosystem. Yeah, like for stimulating the natural regeneration in the forest floor. Like in this photo, you see some seedlings coming after the fire. Also, fire is very crucial for cultural and traditional use of the people. In particular, many indigenous and rural communities, they use fire for land management, agriculture, and of course, sometimes for hunting that will affect to the ecosystem properties. Yes, this is the photos. Just I want to show you how the local people they use fire in their livelihood. Also, fire is very important for their daily life because sometimes the people in the eastern regions they do prescribed burning. They do burning for some specific purposes. For example, for edible plants, for mushroom, or that is some example. And now today, I think burning is also very important when we talking about the carbon, because when the forest floor burns, so the carbon release, not only carbon but many nutrients or many elements released from the biomass, that in particular the carbon, they will affect to the carbon cycle in the atmosphere. So that brings to us that the risk and the global challenges for burning nowadays, because there have some losses and damage of wildfire can cause the loss of life, properties, biodiversity, and also the smoke and air pollution. In particular, the transboundary haze, their impact to the public health, and they are really big crisis. And of course, burning can have the climate feedback. And in particular, that I would like to mention is that now the climate change can change the fire regime, because of the anthropogenic pressures, and climate change are increasing, in particular fire frequency and fire severities. And I think you might familiar with this figure that fire and climate change are related together. Forest fire release the greenhouse gases that impact to the climate change. But by the way, the climate change situations like the El Nino or extreme droughts can have the impact on the forest characteristic, and hence forest fuel that impact the future forest fire. So would like to talk a little bit about the fire regime. The fire regime has 5 components. But what I would like to mention, and I would like to have more concern, is about the fire frequency. The fire frequency is very important nowadays. Yeah. Of course, we have many components of fire regimes, like type of fire, fire seasonalities, fire intensities, and fire severities that have impact to ecosystem properties like plant, soil, animal, nutrition, water, etc. But the fire frequency is very important nowadays. I would like to stress in fire frequency from this the model. So this is the ecological rotation in relation to the fire frequency and nutrient capital. You see that the color line, the yellow color line, is the burning frequency that we would like to have in all over the world. Because for this burning frequency, we can maintain ecosystem fertilities. But what we have facing now today, I think all over the world, is that we have too much burning frequency, like in the red color right now. That in the long term, you will have the degraded ecosystem because of too much burning. And of course, sometimes we do have too much long-term burning suppression that also influence on site infertility as well. So we need to have this one, the infrequent burning regime that we would like to have. But right now, I would say that we have a lot of problems because of too much burning that bring a lot of problem to our ecosystem. Okay, so that a little bit introduction about the climate change, fire, and some fire regime that very important. So what I would like to talk to you next is about the fire and soil property. That a very important thing is about the heating pathway, and I would like to mention about the importance of the fuel loads on soil heating that impact to the soil properties. And also I would like to talk a little bit about the water repellent and soil erosion, and then nutrient loss pathway. So for the effect of fire on soil properties, I think the effect of fire on soil properties mainly depends on the field and fire severities. The fire severity mean, for example, soil temperature or resident time of burning or resident time of heating, and also depends on field characteristics, in particular the field load. But I would like to remind you that normally the soil is very good insulator. So this is maybe very important point. And this is the pathway, the conceptual pathway of the heat that flow from the forest fuel downward to the litter and the soil. The important thing is that if you have the duct or the pit, so the heating from above ground will be transferred to the duct or the pit first, and then if the duct or the pit burn it, so the heat will will transfer to the mineral soil later. But if you don't have the duct layer or pit layer, so the heat from above ground burn fuel will be directly transferred to the mineral soil directly. So this is just to show you the conceptual model of the heat flow. And this slide, this was my thesis I have done in dry dipterocarp forest. So what I would like to mention to you from this figure is that, so I would like to mention about the importance of the importance of field load on the on the soil temperature during burning experiment. For example, from this experiment, the forest fuel is about 5 tons per hectare. So you see that the different line colors represented for the temperature changes over the time at the ground level, the 2 centimeters below ground and 5 centimeters below ground. So I have some equipment to detect the soil temperature change over the time up while burning. You see that at the field load about 5 tons per hectare, the resident time of heating is about 17 minutes at 2 centimeters below the ground. Compared to next slide, this is where we have double of field load. So the resident time of heating is more than 30 minutes. More than 30 minutes. You see that the difference in field load can have different impact on the soil temperature. And also this also showing you the same thing that I just mentioned to you. And you see that at the place where we have field load for 5 tons per hectare, the impact of the heat will be deep down to only 2 centimeters soil depth. But where we have the higher field load, so the impact will be go deeper into even at the 10 centimeters soil depth. This is just to mention to you. Next, I would like to talk a little bit about the water repellency. The reason why I'm talking for water repellency is that right now we are talking a lot about the impact of burning of fire on soil erosion, and many people they do believe that fire can cause the water repellency, which is true, and the impact of water repellent can bring about the soil erosion later. That is true. But what I would like to mention to you is that the intensity of water repellent in the area, it depends on depends on the fire severities, depends on the temperature gradient, and depends on the type of the organic matters. For example, different organic matter can have different impact on water repellent. So this is very important. And this just want to show you that if you have the water repellent layer within the soil, of course the water can the water can be absorbed into the soil just to the level of water repellent layer, but they cannot they cannot penetrate deep down to the soil because of the blocking of the water repellent layer. So that is the reason why when we have the rain after the fire, so you can have some soil erosion, in particular in the highland area, because the water cannot penetrate deep down into the soil. The water is blocked by the water repellent layer. But after the water repellent layer gone, so everything will go back to the normal situation, but it takes some time. But what I would like to mention for this is that the low intensity fire, like burning in many cases in Thailand, for example, burning in the dipterocarp forest, dry dipterocarp forest, where we have quite low intensity of fire. So the impact of water repellent, the impact of fire on water repellent is very low, not much. But anyway, we need some research for that, because we have so many vegetation type. We have a lot of forest ecosystem to be done. For the sediment losses, unfortunately, I don't have our data from Thailand. So I just want to show you that, of course, fire can cause the soil erosion. So these are examples from the US mostly, not from Thailand. But I want to show you that, of course, after the fire, there will be a lot of sediment losses. One cause because of water repellent, and another because of the open of the area after the fire that can increase the soil sedimentation. This also. Next, I would like to talk to you about the model of the nutrient losses pathway in the ecosystem. So these figures I modified from Giardina 2000. Yeah, and I take this model to explain my student for very long time. So whenever you have a fire in the ecosystem, of course, some nutrients, some volatilized nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, or carbon that has low volatilization temperature can be lost through the volatilization. But some elements like calcium, magnesium, or phosphorus, so this element will not lost through the volatilization, but they will lost through the convection.
What's up, Kobsak? Professor Kobsak, can you hear us? Sorry, participants. I think we might have lost Professor Kobsak. I think we'll wait for just 1 minute to keep in touch with him. I'm so sorry for that. Professor Kobsak, you are muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I think we might have lost you due to technical problems.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Can I follow now?
Yes. You can share your slide again.
Okay.
You can share your slide
again. Oh. Can you see my slide now? Okay. Good.
Okay, you can see the slide.
Okay. Yeah. I think the ash, because the ash had a lot of the nutrient, but the fate of the ash that ash can be lost through wind or soil erosion and also can be lost through leaching. That is a very high risk of loss of the ash after the burn. And I would say that normally when the forest burn it, the nutrient availability, for example, for this slide, I show you the effect of fire on nitrogen dynamics. So normally when fire happen, the nitrogen will be drop. Yeah, drop. And then they start to increase again after burning. This is the way of recovery of total nitrogen that they will actually drop. But if you look at in more detail about the nutrient availabilities of nitrogen, for example, the ammonium will increase rapidly after the fire and then slightly decrease to the same level. This happens the same in nitrate. That means the nutrient availability will increase after the fire. But after that, they will decline, slightly decline to the same level before burning. And what about the soil biology? I have no idea because I have not do more research on forest fire and soil biology. This is very very important thing that I think this is the gap that we need to fulfill that, to fulfill that. For the interim of what I present for about the soil and fire, I would say that the effect of fire on soil properties mainly depends on field and fire severities. In particular, soil temperature, residence time of burning, fuel load, and there is some low impact of water repellent at low intensity fire. And for fire in dry dipterocarp forest in Thailand or in Cambodia, Laos, or Myanmar, where we have dry dipterocarp forest, I think that because of the fire in that ecosystem is very low intensity, so there is very little change on soil properties from burning in those forests. And the effect of fire on soil properties is that the nutrient availability, in particular the ion is sharply increased and then reduced to the previous level or even lower. So this is something that I would like to emphasize on that. So next, I still have some 10 minutes. I would like to talk a little bit about the other ecosystem of the above ground ecosystem. For example, for dipterocarp forest and peat swamp forest and swidden farming. So the effect of fire on above ground depend on many factors that I will skip on that. I will not talk about a lot on more detail on that. But I want to show you this photo. This is the dry dipterocarp forest burning cycle that happened in our region, in Mekong sub-region. You see that every dry season, the shading of the trees and fire start, and after that, in the wet season, all become green again. So this is the burning cycle of the dry dipterocarp forest. The problem is that now we have too much burning frequencies. You can see from this photo. So this is maybe annual burning in those dry dipterocarp forest that result in soil degradation, ecosystem degradation. But in another way around, in some dry dipterocarp forest, we have some problem as well. We have too long fire suppression in some forest area that bring about the changing of our ecosystem. There are a lot of vine, climber, and undergrowth that grow after we protect the fire for a long time. That also will bring some ecosystem unhealthy that we need to manage them. That means right now we have two different burning practice, too frequent burning and too long fire suppression. So this graph, I want to show you the importance of the too much burning. FB means frequent burning compared to IB and RB. IB and RB is infrequent burning regime, and control burning, that means no burning. So you see that the resprouting of the trees decline after burning in frequent burning area compared to the area that we have lower burning frequency. The sprout capacity is increased. So this is the evidence showing that when we have too much burning, the sprouting capacities of the tree will decline, and that will impact to long-term forest ecosystem degradation. Yeah, this is also the same that I want to mention. For the interim of this dry dipterocarp forest, as I mentioned, that the burning frequency is very crucial, very important. The problem is, or the challenge is, how to determine the appropriate burning frequency in our tropical ecosystem. That is the main challenge, not only for Thailand, but I think for many ecosystems in a tropical country that where we don't have much more information on that. Of course, in the in the boreal forest, in the eucalyptus forest, or in many parts of the northern hemisphere, we do know some burning frequency that good for maintaining ecosystem. But for the tropical country like us, is it the big gap for us? And we have the problem of too much repeat annual burning. So this is some challenges for dry dipterocarp forest. Next, I just want to show you some disturbance factor in peat swamp forest in the southern of our countries where we have a peat forest and then we have fire. So this is some impact of climate change. As you can see from the lower graph, that in the year that we have El Nino, we have a big fire in the peat swamp forest. And this also show you the temperatures and the water level in the year that we have the big burn in peat swamp forest. You see that some months we don't have any rain, and also the water table is lower than usual. That bring about the dry of the peat swamp forest, and that become burning. As you can see from these photos. And what happened for the burning in peat swamp forest? Very important is that in the peat swamp forest we have very special burning we call ground fire or smolder fire. That the rate of spread is very small, very slow, 3 centimeters per hour. I mean the rate of spread. But the challenge is that we cannot predict the direction of burning on the ground, and this is very dangerous for firefighters and also dangerous for the tree and the ecosystem. So these two slides just to show you how different between wildfire that occurs in peat swamp forest compared to the prescribed burning where we do some experiment. You see that they are really different in the fire behavior characteristic. For example, the rate of spread is quite different. The flame length is different, and also fire intensity is different between wildfire and prescribed burning in peat swamp forest. And also the ecosystem response also different when we have wildfire in peat swamp forest compared to prescribed burning in peat swamp forest. Just to show you that prescribed burning sometimes, if necessary, maybe we have to choose that practice to protect our forest from wildfire. And so this table showing you that when we have burning in peat swamp forest, of course, we're talking a lot about the carbon stock in the peat swamp forest, and the carbon stock in peat swamp forest decrease. Not only in peat swamp forest, but also the grassland in the peat forest, in the peat area also decline as the result of the burning. Yeah, you see that the trend of carbon losses from burning is after burning, the carbon stock, of course, reduce and then start to recover again, but it takes long time to
Prof.
recover it.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I might give you like 2 minutes to wrap up.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for reminding. Yeah, and also the carbon storage also reduce after burning, and you see that the tree affected from burning in peat swamp forest, the mortality is about 30%. Not talking about the sapling, that mortality is more than 70%. And of course, the not only tree but also animal diversity has impact from peat burning. So the interim for peat swamp forest burning is that restoration is very important, and if necessary, prescribed burning can be alternative techniques. Yeah. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about the fire and Sweden farming in northern of the country in Thailand, where we have Sweden farming. So far, we do not know yet how big of the area for the Sweden farm, but the local people, they do Sweden farming in the area for a long time. So just to show you the photos, and I would like to mention is that the soil temperature in the Sweden farm during burning, yeah, they have the soil temperature change during the burning of the Sweden farm, and the impact is that this one. You see that this is the data that we collect in the north of the country, where we have the experimental burning in Sweden farm. You see that after burning, many of the nutrients increase suddenly, immediately. The nutrient increase from the pre-burn level. But after that, 1 year later, the nutrient will be dropped down to the same level or even lower. You see that the yellow arrow means the nutrient increase as a result of burning in the Sweden farm. But the problem is now we have shortened the fallow period. Normally they have maybe 10-year fallow period, but right now I think many countries the fallow period is shortened because of the policy. So that could bring about the degradation of the land as a result of too frequent burning in the area. So I would like to conclude that for the shifting cultivation of or Sweden farming, the long rotational, where the fallow period is long enough, may help to maintain the better balance between nutrient release and recovery compared to the short rotation shifting cultivation. And right now, we have a lot of concern from social and policy pressure that has strongly affected in the highland cultivation practice. So that is very challenging for us. So thank you for your attention. I think many slides I could not talk a lot in more detail. Very sorry on that. But anyway, I think you have my material already, and also I leave my email address to you so that you can contact me later. Yeah, really welcome. So thank you very much.
Many thanks, Prof. Kobsak, for your presentations. Indeed, your findings provided us with a deeper understanding of the complex interaction between fire and soil and other implications for both agriculture and the ecosystem. So that being said, I will now call for question and answer. If anyone wants to ask Prof. Kobsak anything, you may raise your voice, or you may also use the chat to answer to. Okay, we have one saying it. Okay, Sing Vilai Ola. Sorry for pronouncing your name not well. You can. You can have say Singa Vilai Olai Van. Sorry, I'm pronouncing your name wrong. You may say.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very
Yes,
well.
yes.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's a very pleasure to hear this research or activity regarding to the soil and fire in agriculture, especially in this area along the Mekong. So, on behalf of our team, I would like to ask only one question regarding to how we can manage this fire from agriculture agriculture waste burning, and especially for shifting cultivation on upland agriculture.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for your question. That's very good question. That also I have in my mind. Because right now, as I said, can you hear me?
Can hear you, Prof.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because right now, uh, the indigenous people they still need fire for their land preparation because of the difficulty of the transportation, difficulty in logistics to bring all material out of the land. So they still need to do burning in their area. And I would say that back for 5 or 10 years ago, when the indigenous people who live in the mountain, they want to burn, or they want to prepare the land for for cultivation. So they do slash, right, and then let it burn. But when we have a big problem of PM 2.5 in Thailand, the government now they have the policy that of course they do not 100% ban for burning, but they allow some burning. That means the indigenous people, when they want to do burning in their agriculture, they have to register to the government, saying that okay, I want to manage my agriculture for how many area when I will burn, for example, and how I prepare the land before burning. So they have to register, and then the government they approve for that. So the farmer can do burning in that area. That's the thing that right now in Thailand we have some application for burning permission of the agriculture. That's one thing in the high mountain area. But for the agriculture in the flat plain area, for example, in the paddy field, in the sugarcane area, or in the corn field in the lowland. So right now the government they are very strict on burning in that area because the transportation is available, the logistics is available, and the technology is available. So the people in the flat plain area or lower area, the government they don't like the farmer to burn. They want the farmer to bring about the the residue, the agriculture residue out of the area and change into like a biomass fuel, like for example. But in the high mountain area, they still allow, but they need some permission before burning. That's the thing that we do in Thailand.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Prof. I don't know if we have another question. Let me see. I don't see any question, but we have two questions in the chat. The first one is, may I know the degree of burning, high or low, for separate hemic fabric material in peat swamp forest?
Again, please.
The questions, may I know the degree of burning in high or low for separate hemic fabric material in peat swamp forest?
You mean that the peat they have a very different in the level of the decomposition, right? Yeah, hemic, saphic, and yeah, what you said.
Yes.
Yeah,
So he wants to know the degree of burning.
The degree of burning.
Yes.
Unfortunately, when we do the burning experiment in our peat swamp forest, we do not separate that into hemic, saphic, or what do you say? Yeah. So we don't know how different between the burning degree on different peat components. But what I see is that not all the peat burn. Only some level of a peat burn. For example, they burn deep down to only 10 or not more than 15 centimeters depth. But where we have the forest like Melaleuca, where they have the root system. So sometimes the burning can deep down than 15 centimeter of the peat, because the fire can burn the Melaleuca root and then deep down into the soil. Yeah, we found sometime in that case. Yeah, but unfortunately, I cannot answer you that question.
No problem. I think we have tried to answer. The secondly, it's by Talal Dawish. The water repellent soil layer can be also called a clay pen. I don't know, or it's just like elaborating on the question. So my question is that, are there any risk or toxic compounds like polycyclic and aromatic hydrocarbons that can accumulate in the soil after fire? And can they cause any harm? Like especially in peatlands.
In peatland, yeah. In
Like
peatland,
heavy metals.
heavy metal. That's very good question. But unfortunately, I didn't do that research on that. But what I found in the peat swamp area is about the sulfur. You know the sulfur?
Yes.
Yes. Sulfur is very special in peat swamp forest. Whenever you burn the peat swamp forest, you can smell of the sulfur dioxide released from burning. And I think that the sulfur dioxide is the toxic, very toxic gases, right? So this is very dangerous. I always talk to the firefighters in the peat swamp forest when they fight with the fire, because normally they don't like to wear the mask when they do the fire control. But I told them that because the smoke color of the peat fire is very different from normal burning. The smoke is like yellow, and in that smoke there is a lot of sulfur dioxide that's very toxic for the health. That is one thing that I see from the peat swamp forest when they burn it. Yeah, but for heavy metal, in this case, I do not know yet. But last 2 weeks, I just came back from the Chinese Academy of Science in Suzhou. Yeah, I meet one professor, and now he is very interesting to do a research on the heavy metal uh, impact after the fire, because he do believe that there might be some heavy metal like um,
Because
lot.
there's what is called incineration. After you burn some of the heavy metals, it's like you incinerate the heavy metals from the soil, so they become like more of like toxic, something like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Prof. One lastly question. My last question is that, are all fires bad on soil? Is there any good fire to soil, or are all fires bad to the soil? Or can we classify fire and say this kind of
Uh-huh.
fire, it's good for the soil. This kind of fire is bad, or are all fire bad for the soil?
Yeah. My first answer is that not all fire is bad. Not all fire is bad. Depends. Depend on many factors. Depend on if you do prescribed burning. If you do prescribed burning in some specific ecosystems, like in the dihydrocarb forest, or in some places that you can control the burning intensity, you can control the behavior of fire, you can control the fire intensities, so that fire can benefit to your ecosystem. Also, they can accelerate the nutrient availability to the soil. Like the example that I show you, the dry dihydrocarb forest, the DDF. The dihydrocarb forest is the forest that has very low soil fertility international, and the nutrient cycling in that ecosystem is very slow. This is very important. But when you do burning on that forest ecosystem, you can accelerate the nutrient cycling in the dry dihydrocarb forest. So if you do the prescribed burning in the right place, in the right time, so you can increase the nutrient availability in that forest ecosystem. So that could be the good thing. But if you do burning without any responsibilities, for example, you do burning every year. If you do burning in that forest every year, instead of you accelerate the nutrient availability or nutrient cycling in the forest, you will produce the nutrient leach out of the forest ecosystem, because the nutrient that produced from burning, there is a lot of nutrient availability after burning. But you know that the capacity of the ecosystem to absorb the nutrient is limited, right? So
Yes.
yeah, there might be leaching a lot of nutrient out of the forest ecosystem if you burn too much, or if you burn with high intensity of fire. So my answer is that not all fire is bad, depend on your management. But of course, if some ecosystem like a tropical evergreen forest or peat swamp forest, you have to protect all fire, not allow fire to be there, because when fire happen, they will destroy everything in that ecosystem. For agriculture area, sometimes if you do like prescribed burning, so you can accelerate the nutrient availability to your agriculture crops, but you have to do with very high responsibilities. Yeah. Otherwise, many nutrients will be leached out of the ecosystem. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
my
Thank you so much, Prof. Now we know that not all fires are bad. It depends on the management practice. So lastly, to close the session, there's a last question. Could you please share percentage of direct man-made fire, global warming oriented fire, and natural fire breakout in forest? Sandaban mangrove forest is mainly affected by direct man-made honey collectors fire. I don't know if you did understand the question. They say, please share the percentages of direct man-made global warming-oriented fire and natural fire breakout in forest.
I do not
Which
know.
one? Based on my understanding, he's trying to say which in terms of the percentage amongst the three, the man-made fire, the global warming oriented fire, and natural fire breakout in forest, which one is more affected between the three?
Which one? The
Yes.
man-made. The
Yes,
man-made fire.
Yeah, man-made
fire,
fire, global
natural
warming
fire.
yes, global warming oriented fire. Yes.
What is the more important, right?
Yes.
I think I think the man-made fire. If I have to choose, the man-made fire is the most important. Yeah, because the natural fire, they control by natural. Yeah, not by human, but the impact of human is more and more important because nowadays we have too much population. We have so many people living surrounding in the forest or even within the forest, right? And they need something, so they always use fire for their livelihood.
Yes.
Sometimes they use fire without any perspective that can impact a lot of forest. So I would say that the impact from human burning is more and more important. But we can manage that. We can educate them. Yeah. We can show them what is the good thing, what is the bad thing of your burning. And we can train them how to do prescribed burning or how to do burning with response to respect to the nature. That's what I do believe.
Okay, Prof. Thank you so much. Many thanks, Professor Kobsak, and many thanks to you all for participating in this event. The video recording of the webinar will be made available online, and also the copy of our presentation will be sent to you all, registered participants. So before we saying goodbye, I would like to inform you that we are going to have another expert talk on tackling agricultural burning across Asian countries next month. So we'll communicate with you all regarding this webinar, and we're also inviting you to kindly join our next talk next month. Thank you so much again, Prof. Kobsak. We really appreciate your support, and thank you again to all the participants. Bye.
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 Thank you.